Hello again. In Edmond C. Gruss's book, The Jehovah's Witnesses and Prophetic Speculation, this edition published late in 1975, in Chapter 6, the heading is False Prophecy and False Christianity. That false prophecy and wrong dates for events of the last days have been published by the Society has already been established. What makes these errors even more reprehensible is that Jehovah's Witnesses must accept them as they are published without questioning. The Society may change its views on an interpretation at any time, but a witness who, after the study of the Watchtower understanding of a passage, concluded that it was wrong and persisted in this view before it was so identified by the Society would be disfellowshipped. It is clear from the portion of the trial transcript which follows that the authority of the Watchtower hierarchy and the unity of the organization, shown by support of the witnesses' current views, are more important than truth to the Society's leadership. The testimony is taken from the pursuer's proof of a trial held in the Scottish Court of Sessions in November 1954. Legal counsel for the Society, Hayden C Covington, answered the questions of the attorney for the Ministry of Labor and National Service. And here's the direct transcript from that questioning. The question: you have promulgated, forgive the word, false prophecy. Answer: we have. I do not think we have promulgated false prophecy. There have been statements that were erroneous, that is the way I put it, and mistaken. Question: it was promulgated as a matter which must be believed by all members of Jehovah's Witnesses that the Lord's second coming took place in 1874? Answer: I am not familiar with that. You are speaking of a matter that I know nothing of. Question: you have studied the literature of your movement? Answer: yes, but not all of it. I have not studied the 7 volumes of the studies in the scriptures, and I have not studied this matter that you are mentioning now of 1874. I am not at all familiar with that. Question: assume from me that it was promulgated as authoritative by the Society that Christ's second coming was in 1874. Answer: taking that assumption as a fact, it is a hypothetical statement. Question: that was the publication of false prophecy. Answer: that was the publication of a false prophecy. It was a false statement or an erroneous statement in fulfillment of a prophecy that was false or erroneous. Question: and that had to be believed by the whole of Jehovah's Witnesses? Answer: yes, because you must understand we must have unity. We cannot have disunity with a lot of people going every way. An army is supposed to march in step. Question: back to the point now. A false prophecy was promulgated. Answer: I agree to that. Question: it had to be accepted by Jehovah's Witnesses. Answer: that is correct. Question: if a member of Jehovah's Witnesses took the view himself that that prophecy was wrong and said so, he would be disfellowshipped? Answer: yes, if he said so and kept persisting in creating trouble, because if the whole organization believes one thing, even though it be erroneous, and somebody else starts on his own trying to put his ideas across, then there is disunity and trouble. There cannot be harmony. There cannot be marching together. When a change comes, it should come from the proper source, the head of the organization, the governing body, not from the bottom upwards, because everybody would have ideas and the organization would disintegrate and go in 1,000 different directions. Our purpose is to have unity. Question: unity at all costs? Answer: unity at all costs, because we believe and are sure that Jehovah God is using our organization, the governing body of our organization, to direct it, even though mistakes are made from time to time. Question: and unity based upon an enforced acceptance of false prophecy? Answer: that is conceded to be true. Question: and the person who expressed his view, as you say, that it was wrong and was disfellowshipped, would be in breach of the covenant if he was baptized? Answer: that is correct. Question: and as you said yesterday expressly, would be worthy of death? Answer: I think. Question: would you say yes or no? Answer: I will answer yes, unhesitatingly. Question: do you call that religion? Answer: it certainly is. Question: do you call it Christianity? I certainly do. Covington's testimony, Gruss says, for the Society is certainly significant. First, as the Society's legal counsel and its former vice president, he admits that he had never even read the 7 volumes of Studies in the Scriptures, all of which, except for the last volume, were written by C. Russell, the Society's founder. Second, he agrees that the Society had been guilty of publishing and promulgating false prophecy. And third, the statements he makes or accepts concerning unity are certainly an example of false, not true Christianity. A unity at all costs based upon an enforced acceptance of false prophecy under the penalty of eternal death is not Christian teaching. It is not surprising that the attorney asked Covington, "Do you call it Christianity?" A true Christian unity is not created, sustained, safeguarded, and enforced by any human institution. Where in the Bible does one find the principle or statement that God urges unity at all costs or at the expense of the truth? Such a position as that set forth by Covington as the representative of the Watchtower Society must be rejected as a clear example of false Christianity. I'll put in a link to a discussion by Ray Franz of this very issue. Jehovah's Witnesses' unity is actually J. Franklin Rutherford's uniformity enforced. See you next time.